A major CDC recommendation change is causing a stir coast to coast and new confusion on what to do after you test positive for COVID.
If you have symptoms, you should not be out. But if you are asymptomatic and you are infected, we want to get people back to the jobs, particularly those with essential jobs, to keep our society running smoothly.
The agency moving this week to cut the recommended isolation time for Americans from 10 days to 5 days if they're asymptomatic. CDC Chief Dr. Rochelle Walensky defended the move, appearing on at least 5 TV networks on Wednesday.
It really had a lot to do with what we thought people would be able to tolerate. So we want to be able to get people back out if they're feeling well. You know, we had a lot of science to inform our decisions, and it was science in many different areas.
The guidance change comes as average COVID case rates top record highs. Daily case averages now up 126% over the last 2 weeks. And the emergence of OMICRON has Americans waiting in hours-long lines for COVID tests.
I work at a bar and at a coffee shop, so I have to get tested before I work every time. So I've been sitting here for 2 hours.
And bare pharmacy store shelves, where at-home tests are tough to find.
There's just nothing to be had out there.
The new CDC guidance stands the same for the nearly 62% of the country that is fully vaccinated and the 38% that are not.
This is not the time to be lessening. Our staffing concerns have not been addressed, and measures like this will make it worse instead of better.
The CDC says those who have received a booster shot do not need to quarantine following an exposure, but they should wear a mask for 10 days after the exposure. Not included in the new guidance, a test requirement at the end of the 5-day isolation period, a point several health officials questioned, including former Surgeon General Jerome Adams, who stressed the need for an antigen test before leaving isolation and quarantine. In an interview with Wish TV, the nation's former top doctor criticized the CDC's decision as a political compromise.
I'm worried now that they're saying that people who have isolated for 5 days can end isolation, but what most of America will hear is that, hey, isolation is done for everybody. It doesn't matter if you've got symptoms or not. It doesn't matter if you wear a mask.
Dr. Rochelle Walensky says PCR tests were behind the agency's decision, and that PCR tests can show a positive result for up to 12 weeks, long after someone is infectious.
If you got a rapid test at 5 days and it was negative, we weren't convinced that you weren't still transmissible. We didn't want to leave a false sense of security. We still wanted you to wear the mask.
The White House pledged 500 million at-home COVID tests will be available free of charge. Administration officials say a contract should be ready late next week to seal the order, but it's unclear how many tests will be available right away. Kellen Howell, Newsy, Washington.